So my mask design incorporates teeth, just like these guys. Again, it doesn't have to. The style of teeth is up to you, but teeth are going to be an important part of this mask for me. I think we're going to accentuate the mouth. Since we're building up like a mask, teeth are going to be on the outside, and the whole goal for me is to establish chomping motion. Again, an articulated mask, something that moves. So obviously, teeth will show that. There are a lot of different things you can use for teeth. And the reason we're talking about this now is I want to have them pre-built as we get into the sculpture, because they got to be ready to go. So you could use, in our industry, we'll use dental acrylic. You could use nail dental acrylic. You could use some of the epoxy putty, which we're about to talk about as far as the sculpting, in different colors. It depends on your design. When I was young, I'd make teeth out of wood. I'd carve them out of wood. Whatever you got around to make something that's pointy and sharp or flat and blunt or whatever your chiclets. I know you can use almonds for teeth, anything you want. You can use nail files, you know, anything to get you the tooth result you want. The biggest thing for me, I think, in this mask is the way, and again, knowing how the end result is, with the chomping type action, a lot of the stress will possibly end up on the teeth as far as the way it will close and hit. So knowing your strength, like your use of what your teeth are going to be, and knowing the strength integrity, that might come into play as far as what you use for actual teeth. Tusks, all that stuff. I mean, it's endless. So there's a lot of ways you can make them. Today we're going to use, which I saw you can find at craft stores, it's a thermoplastic beads. This is friendly plastic. Now friendly plastic's been around a long time for me, but I noticed recently at some of these craft stores, they have like cosplay sections, and it's a thermoplastic beads is what I think that the technical name of it is, and it's heat sensitive material. And this is what we're gonna use. Now the reason I like this is it comes in like their white color, is it gives a good color contrast to what the other materials I'm sculpting, and it'll stand out as specifically as a unique, different like tooth color and look. I also find there's a slight translucency to this material, so that adds to a really nice teeth finish. I got this at Michael's, and of course you can get it online, and it's thermoplastic. It's a heat shape, cool for craft home projects, non-toxic, and as you're gonna see, it just works in hot water. So I have made a bunch already, and again, depending on your creature, you know you're gonna have a mouth in here, a big smile, you know, again, it's up to your imagination. What's also great about friendly plastic is it's very lightweight, and weight is very important, and I believe in this mask. We do not wanna have a really heavy mask. I'll talk about alternatives for different products for as far as building your mask, but friendly plastic is really light. So what I like to do, I have conveniently already made, we're gonna do a skeletal guy. I've already made a whole bunch of teeth. I've done the front 6. These are kind of your canines. I've done some molars. I have some additional ones just in case. I have a cup full of additional ones. And then here's the lower teeth. And I'm gonna show you how to make some of these. I always find, especially as quickly as we're gonna have to move making this mask, it's best to have over-prepped, especially in teeth or accessories, what you're gonna need and want, and have a couple size variances as you get into it, because you don't have a lot of time to fuss with that. So I have a whole cup full of other stuff here, different sizes and options, just in case. Do we have hot water? Looks hot. All right, and it won't melt, so perfect. Okay, so we have boiling hot water here. You could hopefully you picked up a little steam. And we're gonna take this, and I'm gonna put these beads in, and I don't like to throw them all and make a big pile in the middle. I like to disperse the beads so they're in there in a thin amount. I don't have a big pile of them, so they can heat up a little quicker. I'll put a little more hot water in there. And if you've noticed, it's tough. They went from white to translucent. I'm gonna set this right there. So they're translucent. That way you know they're fully heated up and ready to go. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a spatula. You can take a popsicle stick. You can take a butter knife at this point. I like to always split my popsicle sticks. And basically they'll stick to themselves really quickly. And the water's not so hot I can't touch it with my hand. I'm gonna pinch off an appropriate size. and keep it pressed on, and then start shaping teeth. I've made a lot of teeth in my day, so sculpting ultimately is practice. I know you guys have plenty of courses on sculpting. We're going to cover some of it, what I like to do, but it is just practice, practice, practice. So my design of skull is, I have really long roots, like the bone and the gums are recessed on this, so I'm doing like a long root tooth, and I'm going to do like a molar, so I'm going to kind of hit the middle and kind of blunt out the bottom. I kind of do this X pattern here. It's tough to see because it's translucent, and I'm kind of giving it the round tooth form and then the root, and I'm calling that's like done. That's good to go for a molar type tooth. So I'm going to add that to my pile there. What you can do too, as you find out as the water cools, depending on how big or how much you have, you can keep adding, heating up in the microwave or boiling more water and keep adding hot water. Here's another one. I'm doing it all with my fingers. You can introduce, I've used my tool a little bit. Getting it super pointy is tricky. You can come back with a Dremel tool, which will actually heat it up a little though and melt it, but you can get really good pointy teeth that way. Here's like a fang. And what's great about these materials, all these materials we're using today for sculpting, is they have like a time period to work with. So it kind of forces you to move quick, which makes you have an end time. A lot of these projects, especially with sculpting, it's endless. Like, you can sculpt forever and ever, and it's never perfect, and it's never as good as you want it to be. But these materials limit your time, and they force you to move quick and get things done efficiently. And I think that's the best way to practice, because then you can stop, evaluate, and it's done. It has to be done, and then revisit it again and again. And that's how you improve. Because I find there's some people that will just sculpt, oh, I'm still working on it. It's like, you gotta sculpt this thing for 2 months, you know, like get it done. You need to have that discipline of getting something finished. So these materials kind of lend that. So here's a fang. I'm not gonna use that. Another great thing is you can see I added this skull here. I just picked this up at a convention. You can get it online. It's a mold of what was once, I believe, a human. I really like the character in this one. So having reference around, it doesn't have all its teeth, but some teeth to obviously reference is so key. We could talk about that for forever. But having really great reference around 2D reference is good. But obviously, if you're sculpting or you're a new sculptor, having real 3-dimensional reference is super ideal, because that is what it is. So here's a bottom tooth. My head's a little bigger than this guy, so here it is kind of standing in for that guy. So here's a reference of like a bottom tooth, and you can see the similarity of the actual one from a real person. So, you know, having great reference, all the great artists, especially at least in creature effects, where we're simulating humans and animals and a lot of nature, the best guys got the best reference, and they're scouring the internet for really cool images. And it's amazing when it comes down to it. You find out like some of the really good designers and people, they have really good images of stuff that already exists, and then they're able to kind of splice them together. Okay, so these beads here, they are still pliable, and again, they kind of stick together. It's really cool material. If you don't like what you got, you can throw it back in, reheat it. They'll soften again. You can add more to it. You can pull stuff off, and you could make small horns. You can make a lot of sculptures out of this material. Even so much so, if you have some sort of rubber molds or forms, you can take this material and push it into it too, and get results from that. So my main reason I like it is it's light, it's fast, but the color is great for teeth. It's got a little translucency to it, and it's a good like white color. It's not bright white, and it's just great for teeth. I've been using this material forever, and it's non-toxic, it's safe, and it's very affordable. I mean, I don't know how many, I could make thousands. I've had this for years. I don't think I bought one of these in years, and a little goes a long way. And then what's also great about the material is if this water cools and these get hard, kind of clump them together or dump all your water and just throw them back in the container. They're reusable, so there's no waste. Again, we're on a budget here, so we're being very economical with this project.